I think cone, horn. I think I want a yellow unicorn. Hi, I'm Millie, and today we are going to be designing and crocheting a unicorn bag together. Now, this is a birthday present for my 4-year-old niece, and I was going to buy her something, and I was like, I could just make something. That's a thing I can do. Why not use that skill? So I thought it'd be really fun to record the whole process of kind of designing and then actually creating it. And hopefully, if this goes well, I will write it up as a pattern as well. Let's hope that future me did a good job. First of all, I want to talk you through the process that I went through designing the bag that I want to make. I had a look on Etsy and there were loads of different unicorn bags available, but they're very like front face of a unicorn, if that makes sense, rather than I want it to be kind of side on, so like a horse head profile and then a little strap. So I've decided to come up with my own thing. I actually did this on the flight yesterday back from the US, so I'm a little jet lagged today, but it's fine. And I've got to get this done by Wednesday. Today is Sunday, so I've got a few days, plenty of time. So yeah, I'm going to talk through the process of how I designed it and kind of came up with the shape and everything I wanted to make, and then I'm going to take you along with me whilst I actually get started making it. The way I started out was first of all by trying to figure out the rough shape. I tried freehanding this a load of times and it was awful, so I started instead by kind of drawing dots to show the outline of like the key points of where the shape was going to move. From there, I drew a load of straight lines to kind of connect it up, and you can see here that there's, well, hopefully a vibe of like a horse head going on. From here, I then obviously needed to make like a more smooth shape. So on top of that, I drew a circle because I knew that would be the basis of what I wanted to make, and then like connected the shapes for the rest of that. I then decided, okay, how am I actually going to create this in crochet? Is this a shape I can use? Now, before all the pros come at me, I know these stitches are not the correct stitch symbols for a crochet pattern. Don't try and use this, it won't work, they're not correct. But I was 36,000 feet in the air and I could not remember the different symbols for each stitch. But basically, a longer stitch is trying to show a taller crochet stitch and a shorter one is something shorter. Again, how it comes out in real life, we'll see when I make it. So I kind of got rid of those parts and I said, okay, I need to fill in the stitches. How's this going to work? So my plan here is to start off with a circle and then just add a few little stitches here. From here, on this side for the nose, just to kind of come out with, I don't know, again, depends how wide it is, a load of stitches and then just round them off on the end with some shorter ones. And kind of the same idea for the neck. I don't know how this is going to work, but the idea was to just have a couple stitches coming out on the side and then like join each row to the bottom of the circle. And then once I've got the width I want, just kind of straight down and add one stitch every now and again to make this angle. Once I had the stitches and kind of a general idea of how I was going to put this together, I decided to design the actual look of things. So to do that, I took my general shape onto a new page and I added some colour because maybe it's going to be a cream unicorn, I don't know, but it makes it look nicer on the page. Next up, I was thinking about the ear and eyes. So I added those in. Now, I think the nose, I'm literally just going to sew a little thing. I think for the eye, I'm probably going to make a big white circle, sew that on first, and then, I don't know, if I can find a really cool glittery eye, maybe I'll use that, but I think I'll probably crochet it. Now for the ear, I'm pretty sure I've made really similar ears before in a different pattern, so I'm going to try and figure out what animal I was making and just use that. Now, it's a unicorn, obviously it needs a horn. So first of all, I just drew the general shape. From that, I then kind of copied over it. And finally, of course, we added some glitter. How this bag will be is just 2 pieces of this shape, like flat. It's not going to be 3D. Final thing I needed, well, I thought I needed, is hair. So first of all, I tried doing this little like frizzy hair situation. And I actually did make a unicorn 4 years ago for a Christmas gift. I'll put it on the screen here. And it had these like curls, essentially. And I drew them on and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work for a bag. So I then tried a different concept, which is basically like a plait. I just can't draw a plait. I don't know how you draw it. This is the vibe anyway. And I think actually that will work out so much better because I can just lay it flat and kind of attach it down the edge of one side. The idea is to just, as I said, have the 2 pieces back to back. The back piece is just going to be plain, no decorations or anything. It just makes life easier. Just kind of crochet it all together around the edges and then leave sort of this portion open, and hopefully I can find a zip gonna worry about that when we get there. Same with the strap. I haven't really thought too much about what that looks like yet, but I'm gonna worry about the main part because I don't think the strap is gonna be the biggest challenge. So that's the design. The next thing I need to do is go pick out the yarn that we want to use for this project. So let's go yarn shopping. Alrighty, it is time to go yarn shopping, aka raid my stash. Now, I actually have way less yarn available than I thought I did. I don't know why, and just in my head I had loads more different colours than I actually do. But I'm hoping that we have enough available at least for kind of the main body head of the bag. And I think I have stuff for the hair as well. So let's dive into the stash. Of whips that I didn't know was there. I mean, what is this? Let's investigate. Circle. Nice. Oh. Pot. And whatever this is, hanging thing, that's really cool. Options. Now, first of all, for the body, I either have this chenille yarn. Now, this one is more of a pure white. This one, I think, is more of a cream. I think it is James C. Brett Flutterby, but I could be completely wrong. Now, my concern is I don't know if that is enough because, as we all know, crochet is a real yarn eater. We do have one other option though for the main body. This is hobby. I mean, I would say hobby, but then I watch so many people's videos that call it Hobie, so who knows. Honey Bunny. Very thick, lovely chenille yarn. My only issue is in the light right now, it looks kind of yellow. I don't think I want a yellow unicorn. Now, for the hair, I have some other lovely colours, also in Honey Bunny. We've got this kind of aqua, greeny colour. We've got the deeper pink and then a slightly lighter pink. I wish I had a yellow, but I only have like more of a mustardy colour, and I don't think mustard is giving unicorn hair. Do you know what I mean? So I think they are going to be the colours for the plait, which I am loving. So the only thing I need to find now is something for the eyes, and I have a load of acrylic stuff downstairs because I was doing a different project, and I have some white scraps in there. But I was thinking, if the body is white, will it be weird to have the eye white as well? But then also it's weird to have an eye that's not white. So I'm thinking, maybe do I need to order like a big glittery eye? Don't know. Not gonna actually worry about the eye right now. Just gonna do the shape of the horse and then we'll go from there. All right, we are back downstairs. Something's not right with my lighting. I don't know. We have the hooks, we have the yarn. It is time to start crocheting. So we have got our terrible lighting going on here. So I'm pretty sure this is just going to work out just fine to start us off. I think I lied earlier. It's actually going to be double crochets. I said the whole thing was going to be single crochet. I lied. I absolutely lied. Got my drink, got my notebook, got everything I need to just crack on with this, get the circle done. I'm gonna find a video on YouTube to watch. I love watching people doing their projects whilst I do my projects. I don't know if that's weird. Would love to know if you love doing that as well. Maybe you're making a project while I'm making my project. Let me know in the comments if you are. So I'm gonna crack on with that now. I will keep you updated when I've done the rest of the circle and we can go from there. round 1, 2, 3, 4 finished. So this is how big it is. I mean, me, for reference, I think I'm going to still go probably another 2 rounds or so. Because, I mean, how big do I want it to be? Maybe another round will be okay, actually. And then from there, we'll start to do the neck shaping and the head and kind of the nose. One thing I am concerned about, I know I said this earlier, but like, that is floppy. And something I did consider doing was holding it with a strand of acrylic. But the problem is, I think I've actually used all my white acrylic on a scrap project. And it was so silly because I was like, great, let me use all my scraps of yarn. But now I just actually have no yarn because it's all made into this flipping basket. Anyway, so we've got this. But right now I'm going to go get a snack. I think I might go to the gym and then we'll come and work on this a little bit later today. Alrighty, quick little update before I go to the gym. I got ready to leave and then Christian was like, I have to do some stuff before we leave. So I carried on crocheting. I've gotten this big. Oh, that's the wrong side. Hang about. I've gotten this big now and I think this is the right size for the head because obviously there's the nose and the body that's going to add on to it. So we finished the rounds. We did 5 rounds in the end to get that circle, and from now I need to add on, I think I'm going to do the nose section first, so I'll keep you updated on how I actually do that, and then we'll work on the neck, and hopefully I can have this front panel finished by this evening, and then I can just quickly work up the other one, and then we can start to decorate. Sorry for the bad quality all of a sudden, but I just thought I would record this because I was trying to figure out how big to do the nose, and then I thought I can just zoom in on the iPad and literally put the circle on the screen. So I made it the size. I mean, maybe it needs a tiny bit bigger. And then I've just put a stitch marker where I am now and a stitch marker where I want to finish up the nose. How cool is that? I feel quite smart right now. I mean, maybe it won't work out, but we'll see. Hello, it is day 2 of my crochet unicorn bag project, and I just wanted to quickly do an update as I didn't manage to film as much as I wanted to yesterday. So we are here with the head. Now it doesn't look so great when I don't lay it out flat, but I promise you this matches up perfectly with the shape that I had drawn out on the iPad. So I'm super pleased. This bit is the bottom part and this is kind of the nose. My next steps from here is to add the shaping onto the head just here, and then obviously add on kind of the neck portion as well. So that's what I'm going to crack on and do this evening. Today is Monday night, so I've still got all of Tuesday and Wednesday, but you know, the whole normal life stuff I have to do in between. Fingers crossed this is something I can get finished. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is day 3 of working on this crochet unicorn bag project, and let me show you where we're up to so far. So last night I completed the circle for the back of the bag, and I'm about to add on the nose now. Now, I'm very conscious that we only have one more full day to complete this project. What that means is basically anything that I do today, I need to figure out if there's anything I'm missing. I know for a fact I need a zip and I need yarn for the horn. Never remember that word. So tomorrow is my last chance to go and buy that stuff, or order it online today if I need to. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on right now, get the nose done, figure out the neck, get that done for both the front and the back, and then the plan from there is decorate, sew together, and figure out all the little extras that we need. So let's do it. Struggle with this. It's just like coming out directly from, let me show you, from the circle, and I cannot get this like angle. So I'm wondering if it's going to be better to just make like essentially a triangle and just attach it on. Like, I'd really rather avoid sewing as much as I can because I don't like it, but I just feel like that might be easier at this point. So I might just try make a triangle, see how that goes, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty, it is Wednesday evening, the deadline of me making this gift. Now, you might have noticed by this point, I'm not very good at deadlines until the last minute when I smash it. So right now I'm in the car, I'm about to head to Hobbycraft because I need to pick up 2, possibly 3 things. I need a zip for the closure of the bag, or if I can't find one that fits / matches, maybe some poppers, something easy for little fingers basically. I need to get some sparkly yarn for the horn, and maybe some eyes. We'll just see what they have. So come along with me and we will have a little browse. Alrighty, I have got the goodies. Now, before I show you what I bought, I wanted to just tell you about 2 really interesting differences that I've noticed between the USA and the UK in terms of craft stores. So I've spent the last 2 to 3 months in the US and I've been shopping at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and there's 2 things that I've just found really interesting. The first one, they have a way bigger variety of like chenille and chunky yarns in the US. So it must be that like amigurumi and like knitting big chunky blankets and stuff like that is just a bigger thing over there. Whereas here in the UK, we have way more kind of acrylics and just very like what I would call like standard yarn, I guess. The other thing that I've noticed is that yarn is so much cheaper here in England. And again, I don't know if it's because of like the difference between the types, but I'll show you the yarn that I picked up for the horn. I'm just gonna call it a cone at this point. It's this like what's it called? Disco Daydream. I don't know how well it's showing in the light right now. It's like a sparkly pink yarn essentially, but that was literally £2. In dollars, that's like $2.80 or something, I don't know. So cheap compared to what it would have been in the US. I think that would be at least $5. The other thing I picked up was just a plain white zip. I did look at a load of different colours, but I figured white was probably safe. I've never actually attached a zip before, so we will see how that goes. I'm gonna stop lighting myself up like a Christmas tree in this car park where I currently am, and I'm gonna head home and see how much we can get done, hopefully all of it this evening. Okay, little unicorn update. We have both pieces. We have a nose and we have an eye. Now, I decided to go for a closed eye because I just thought it'd be easier than making a whole entire eye. I'm not in love with it and I'm gonna try and neaten it up. But we have a face. This is what we're working with right now. I'm pretty pleased with how this is looking. The plait has turned out way better than I thought. The eye is a little bit worse than I thought. So net overall, I think we're okay. This is what the horn is looking like. I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do with that. Maybe I should redo it in like a lighter pink. Do we think that's going to match better? Because obviously we've got the plait is all in the chenille. And then that's very much, well, who knows what that's made of? Metal, by the looks of things. I don't know. I'm going to do the ear and then see where we are. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how she's looking. Good morning. It is 7:50 a.m. on the next day. I have 1 hour and 10 minutes until we have to leave to make this become a unicorn. So just to give you a super quick update on where we got to last night, I have the body of the unicorn finished. We have the zip attached. Hair is created, ear is created, face is sewn on, cone, calling it a cone is created, and the strap, which I'll show you now, is halfway. I don't know why I picked, wait, it looks better this side. I don't know why I picked a pattern that took so long for the strap, but we've committed now, so I have about half of that to finish. Goodness, she is finished. I can't tell you how happy I am to have finally finished this project. It took so much longer than I expected, and I think that's because in my head I thought about the time it would take to crochet the items, but I did not consider the time it's going to take to put everything together. But I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I feel like there are a few things that I would improve doing this again. For example, like the eye, it's kind of messy. The horn isn't particularly horn shaped, could be a bit pointier, it's a bit round here. And I also think that the plait is kind of loose. And it's okay, but it just means that it falls out of place quite easily. Like you can see here, the stitching sort of appears. But overall, I am so pleased with it. I'm really pleased with how the handle turned out. I used star stitch, which I think looks really pretty, and it's made of cotton, so it's quite sturdy as well. And one thing that was really cool is this is the first time I've ever done a zip on something. And I don't know, I just think it makes it look quite professional and easy for little hands as well. So I'm super pleased with this. My plan is to try and get it written up into a pattern. There's a few little things I'd like to retest and make sure I'm perfectly happy with before I do that, but I am hoping that the little girl this is for is gonna love it. Because you're not going to see her wear it, instead I want to share with you some footage of it being modelled by my lovely boyfriend. So enjoy that.
Catwalk. Catwalk. G-L-E-R. Catwalk. G-L-E-R. G-L-E-R. Catwalk. 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 G-L-E-R.